YouTube family. One of the guys that got caught up in the racketeering charges, Cmurda is what they call him. Now, Cmurda been through a lot of the trenches. It's been through a lot right now. Cmurda been trying to make it, been trying to move out the way, shaking it, you know what I'm saying, and baking it out here on these streets. We know what he did allegedly as far as who he is. Now, folks in them were saying that FBG Brick's murder was on, you feel me, Cmurda. He's the one who did it allegedly. And bloggers ain't even saying allegedly, they're just saying it's him. And there's a lot going on with that too, man. For instance, we know it rained for a lot of days when Brick dropped. Folks in them tried to get their lick back. But the Get Back gang been doing a whole lot of things, doing videos. You got Muwab a couple of months ago trying to put the claim who was responsible for what. I mean, it's a lot. Like, these guys go out their way to do it. But let's pay these bills right quick. Now, before we show you the video, I want y'all to go to my YouTube channel and go and subscribe to I Smoke Hip Hop Live. Come rock out with the most winningest team out here. Look, we are verified now because of y'all good folks. Let's get out here and do the damn thing, man. I Smoke Hip Hop Live. Now, Cmurda, what they call him. Cmurda was the case. He's in a lot of situations right now where he say, she say. Is basically creeping on through the modes and the vibes. Folks don't know who to pick or what to say, but the indictment paperwork got a lot of them on different murders. It's not just for FBG Duck. They got Muwap on allegedly killing Can't Get Right. I'm not going to play the video here of Can't Get Right's death. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I got respect. But it's like, there's a lot of ups and downs to this. You got to remember, Cmurda had a name for a long time through them trenches. You know what I mean? One dude that's known not to be played with, not to be messed with. But I'm going to start this paradigm as a paragram and go through the mix and the oceans of what this supposed to be. Now, shout out to all the guys involved. You feel me? Because this man he just got paroled and got out of his parole in January 21st, 2020. Remember his discharge date. And now he's locked up for resisting on destruction when it was January 21st, 2001. Then he got free just to get locked up again for this case. This case got members like Lil Durk talking about he going back to school and a whole lot of other people saying things. Man, we got to respect Chief Keef in this situation for even leaving. You know what I mean? Not staying attached and not staying around. Now, Muwap is over here clearly clowning the guys here. Now, before I show you the clips of what I really want to show y'all, I wanted to tell y'all one thing, man. You feel me? Is it worth it to get involved in any of these situations? You know they're high probable cases. You know it's going to come back around. And let's just be real, man. All this is situations we knew from the start. But people want to play it off like they don't know. People want to, you know, act like the streets is just this loyal thing. And you can be loyal, but you can also be around each other and mess up what that loyalty is supposed to be about. You feel what I'm saying?
To pretrial. I think this is really important, and this is gonna come up in the documents that I've tendered to the court and that I've tendered to Mr. Somerville. Well, Mr. Alford, government believes, has made statements to pretrial, the people who would supervise him if the court were to give him pretrial release in this case. He's made statements to them that are not true with respect to where he lives. Looking at page 2 of the report, first full paragraph, Mr. Alford maintained that he's a lifelong resident of this district and had lived at the address which is listed on page 1 of the report for the past 2 years. Mr. Alford's mother and sister told pretrial that wasn't true. He didn't live at that address and he lived somewhere else. The FBI, throughout the course of this investigation, received court-approved authorization to use investigative methods figure out where Mr. Alford was in fact residing, and it was not this address that's listed on page 1 of the report. It's close to the address where he was arrested. I say close to the address where he was arrested because the FBI, again, through investigative methods, figured out which unit Mr. Alford was living in. And during the course of this arrest, which, with respect to Mr. Alford's arrest, spanned about 40 minutes to an hour, we're knocking on the door of that residence. Mr. Offer was not there. He was in a different residence, which was upstairs, away from that one. Did not come out easily. FBI has reason to believe turned off his phone while they were knocking on the door of that other residence, but ultimately figured out where he was. And again, relating to the address that Mr. Offer would say is where he lived in page 2 of the report, I submitted documents to the court. I tendered them to Mr. Somerville. Let's just call them Exhibit 1 and 2. I'll refer to the one that is a Small Business Administration application, at least a small portion of it, as Exhibit 1, and a Bank of America statement as Exhibit 2. I think this is relevant to the question of Mr. Offer's history and characteristics, particularly with respect to where he's living, because if Your Honor were to look at Exhibit 1, there's an address.
Ain't no drugs in that bag over there, y'all. We got big firearm. I don't think it's drugs in that pouch either. Big firearm, stupid. I'm gonna go over here with these killers real quick. I'm gonna go over here with these killers real quick, you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna go over here with these killers real quick, man. I'm bit in. Let me go over here with these killers. We rocking all white today. It's a white day. Still drop your ass. Let me go here with these killers and shit though. See if these killers on over here. Let's see if these killers on. Hey, who is this right here, man? Y'all don't know him right here, man.
40 been a hot cock, NLCB red.
No, y'all don't know Shorty and BD.
Shoebox on BD.
I'm busting for my shit. I'm saying, like, if I can't bust motherfucking shit and the hard work come, and I'm getting my chain. I'm busting somebody's shit for the watch. I'm trying to look. I'm coming with a dub for my shit. I want my shit. I'm up to 50 on the picture.
BD and Funnel got them BBs. Funnel got them VVs on the way on BD. Shorty them got them VVs on the way.
That's gonna be bust down like how you get a piece of pork out the restaurant and you break it and I'm catching motherfucker in that straight.
My shorty. My shorty, he ain't got no ain't no drugs in that pouch on BD. Ain't no drugs in that pouch on BD. You know what's in that pouch, Goofy?
I think this relates to Mr. Offer's character for truthfulness with respect to representations he has made to pretrial about where he lives, representations he's made on a loan application to the government. And I told you at the start that I was foreshadowing a bit with respect to the application for the car. If Mr. Offer's statements are true to pretrial, that he was unemployed or has been unemployed since 2019, those were not the statements that he made in the loan application in or about July 28th, 2020, which ultimately led to the dealership requesting that Mr. Offer return the vehicle to them. So all of those things go to Mr. Offer's character for truthfulness and whether he'd be a good candidate for pretrial release, reporting the pretrial. There's some other information, and I relayed this to Mr. Somerville as well. These are not exhibits, but when Mr. Offer was arrested in that other apartment, the owner of that residence unit gave the FBI consent to search it, and the FBI recovered some items that the owner of that residence unit indicated belonged to Mr. Offer, including 2 bottles of suspected promethazine hydrochloride, people call it codeine syrup, about 136.
Huh? No, I ain't seen no dice. We could have went to the studio. Why everybody go to the studio? They gon' sway you, Jay. Money turn to one. much you love against you. Don't tell me you love me and love me ain't your intentions. Don't be with that hate shit.
Watch the glass, y'all. What up, brother?
Man, I got these hood trophies on my shit.
What?